Welcome back to the Meridian Pursuit Builders Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Sampley, and this is where we sit down with home builders, developers, real estate professionals, and industry leaders who are out there doing the work. You'll hear real conversations about markets, design, mistakes and lessons learned, and how builders can position themselves in a way that brings more customers to the table. Let's dive in.
Yeah, so I didn't grow up in a construction family. My dad had no part of construction. I've got two older brothers that I look up to. They're both in sales. One sells insurance and one is in, sells for another company. And I was kind of following in their footsteps. Out of college, I got my degree from the University of Utah and went into district management for Frito-Lay. So working for a Fortune 50 company, very structured, huge company, great company, and worked for them for a few years. And then in 2015, I kind of got rubbed the wrong way with the promotion I thought was coming my way. And I just thought, man, if I really want to do this and work for a Fortune 50 company, I'm going to have to bounce around the country, take a promotion out of state every 2 or 3 years. And I was like, I really don't want to do that. I've got young kids and I'm starting a young family. So started looking around and I had a buddy that says, hey, you should come work for us at this local paving company. So it was a position for an estimator, kind of sales / project manager for a local asphalt paving company. Got that job in 2015, loved it. Just loved being on site, seeing the big equipment, doing large civil projects like paving parking lots and doing road base and seeing infrastructure get built and that kind of thing. So really liked that, liked the guys that I worked with. Just, it was a really fun atmosphere, good team environment. And so did that for a few years. And here in Utah, the paving business especially shuts down in December until about April. So all the hot plants close down because it's too cold to pave asphalt. And so I just kept thinking to myself, like, man, we're so slow in the winter, and the company I was with would keep me on salary. And so I'd have my salary coming in, but I would get so bored. I mean, my first winter, I drove for Uber to stay busy. My next winter, I started up. I did like selling sports cards online, and I kept telling myself, like, I need to build my family a house. Like, I know the guys now. I know the concrete guys. I know the excavation guys. I know the plumbers. I just need to build a house, and throughout the winter. Finally got the courage in 2019, bought a lot, went and got a construction loan. And most cities will allow you to build your own house, be your own general, as long as you're going to move into it. So finally found a bank that would loan me the money. Talked to about every bank in town, and they were just like, you hire a general contractor? And I was like, no, I can do it. I know all these guys. I'm in construction. So I found a banker that believed in me. He helped me get the deal done. We built a beautiful house. It's the house I'm in right now. We still live here. And I just love the process. Like, I was there every day. It was fun. I loved, being with the guys. I'd bring them drinks. I'd bring them food. And, it was just fun being on site, not much different than what I was used to with our paving projects. And took me about 7 months to build that house. And after I was done, I was like, man, that's pretty fun, And I saw the kind of equity that we gained. Like when I got the final appraisal, I'm like, man, if we would have sold this house, we would have done pretty good. But, we moved in with good equity. So that was kind of where it started. I had no intentions of starting a construction business on my own. But after that point, I had my wife's uncle reached out, who's done several spec homes throughout his career. He's a real estate agent. He's like, hey, what would you think about going and getting your license and doing a spec home with me? And I was like, that sounds pretty fun. And so the next winter, I went and got my GC license and started doing a couple of spec homes every winter. And then from there, people started reaching out, hey, can you build us a custom home? And it got to a point where I was still working my day job in the asphalt business. And it just got to the point where I was like, okay, I got to decide if I'm going all in or not. I got to, leave my benefits, leave my stable paying job, And do I just go in for this? And so that was 2023 in the spring. I turned in my notice and went went full into it.
Oh, well, give me a snapshot. What's the company look like now? How many homes have you built? Are you doing more spec? You doing custom building? You doing a little bit of both?
Yeah, a little bit of both. We like doing specs just because we feel like we've gotten really good at them. And when I say specs, they're pretty nice homes. You know, they're anywhere from 6,000 to 8,000 square feet, and you know, pretty high end finishes. You know, we're doing hardwood floors, 8-foot doors everywhere. Pretty custom finishes in a lot of them. So we like doing the specs just because they can move so quick. And when you bring on a homeowner, it's a different story. And we love our clients. We love our homeowners. We're careful about who we build with because it can. We've had some difficult ones, and we've learned a lot of things to look for when you want to take on a client. I mean, we can't build for everyone. Like we can only do so many homes a year with the types of homes that we're doing. So it's kind of a mix of both. We generally have about 2 to 3 specs a year, and anywhere from 2 to 3 customs in a year.
Okay. What are what are some of the things that some of the more custom things you're doing in the spec homes, and how are you making that decision?
Yeah, so in our custom homes, the one thing that is unique about us is we have an interior designer that's Asia's her name. She's our VP of design. So she walks our homeowners. She also designs our spec homes. So picks out everything, all the finishes. And our customs are obviously up to our custom homeowners. We're going to put in the house what they want to draw up and what they want to put in. But what we're seeing a lot here in Utah is cold plunging is a huge thing. Pretty much every house we have has a cold plunge in it. It's got a dry sauna. Exercise room is a big thing. Like they call them a wellness room, and a lot of times. Yeah, we're seeing like waterproof decks, like you know, an epoxy type deck off of the back of the house. Those are probably the things that come to mind mostly.
There are a lot of custom home builders, semi-custom home builders in your area.
You know, I wouldn't say there's a lot. There's a handful of really good ones. Yeah, we've got some great builders out here in Utah. The Utah Valley Parade of Homes. There's also Salt Lake Valley Parade of Homes. The Utah Valley Parade of Homes is kind of regarded as one of the top parades in the country. I know a lot of states don't do a parade of homes, but it's basically, you know, the Home Builders Association has like a 2 week event in June every every year, and there's usually anywhere from like 30 to 40 homes, and those are kind of the top end custom builders, you know, try and have a home in there every year, and there's some amazing homes. Yeah, there's a lot of custom builders do a really good job here in Utah Valley.
Well, I checked out your Instagram. You had a pretty amazing home. Tell me a little bit about that one.
Yeah, that was our first parade, you know, and I even told our team like I don't ever want to do a parade house because I knew the kind of stress that it involves, you know. And I've been a part of some parade homes as a subcontractor, but you know, we decided to do it mainly because it was a spec house and we had total control of the schedule and not a homeowner making any changes on it. So we thought that was kind of nice. But our experience with the parade, to answer your question, was amazing. Like it was, and that's why most builders do it, is just to get the marketing for it and to put their name out there. And it is a little gut wrenching when you got probably 10,000 plus people walking through the home and picking everything apart and telling you what they don't like about it and what they do like about it. So it was when I told our team we got to have some thick skin, but it was an amazing experience. Yeah, we'll definitely do it again, and it was a lot of fun to be a part of the parade.
What do you think? What do you think sets your company apart now, or is there anything specific that you're doing to make sure that you are set apart from some of your different competitors out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing that sets us apart is we have a design staff that can help with the interior design. And not to say that we would never welcome a third party designer. There's a lot of great designers that we would love to work with. But that is unique about us is that we have a design team that's on our staff that is employed by us. They're part of our team. They know how we work. They know what we need to stay efficient. And that's a huge part of the build is all the design decisions that need to go into everything. And so I think something that really sets us apart too is just our organization with like our project management software. having all the selections where our customers can see them, where our project managers can see them, know exactly what's going in every room, how to plan for it. So there's just so many moving parts in construction, and especially in a custom home where there's not two or three options, there's hundreds or thousands of options. Like, I think that really sets us apart that we are organized and we have a designer on staff to help us move along pretty efficiently.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, especially even keeping up with some trends. Hey, this may have been popular 5, 6 years ago, but this is kind of fading out. So let's not pour all this effort into this because in the next 5 to 10 years, this is going to be completely obsolete. No one's going to care about this feature
Yeah.
whatsoever. You think
Yeah.
there's any other benefits that having an in-house designer helps with you guys?
Oh man, it's been so nice for me because I'm really not the creative type. Like I'm more the business type, the systems and keeping things organized. And so my first few spec homes, I was building those for investors. And I was like, hey, what do you guys want to do for design? And they're like, oh Jeff, you just go ahead and do it. Just pick out what you want. And I was like, oh, like that. Yeah, I guess I could do that. But it's just like overwhelming. I mean, picking out flooring, lighting fixtures, plumbing fixtures, trying to make it all work together. And like so naive for me to think that I could put that together. And I'm just that's what's been so amazing. I mean, she's so talented. We've also got Stratton on our team, which he's working as a junior designer, but it's so nice to just have that off of our plates, and we can just worry about building the house, and they can worry about the design. It's nice to have them on our job walks. Like when you're in, we might have something drawn up on plans, but you know how it goes. Like when you're walking in and seeing that fridge there or whatever, like you're like, oh man, we're gonna have to move that. It looks great on plans, but like it's nice to have our design team doing the job walks with us. Post framing or pre four way, and having their input and their expertise on if we need to change something.
You can view a blueprint to your blue in the face, but until it's actually built and it's constructed and you're able to walk it in 3D, I mean that
Yeah,
it's
or fluent
totally
input.
different.
Yeah, like it is. That's what I think a lot of people don't understand about construction is, yeah, it's just not a perfect science. I always say that,
Yeah.
like, you could have the best architect on it, the best structural engineer, and still there could be something that gets missed. It might be the first time it's a custom house. It's the first time they've drawn that house. You know, there's going to be problem solving every single day on the house.
I think that's important too for the customers to know is that, okay, that is the reality is that there are going to be changes. So how do you guys work through those challenges? And I think that's something that probably even people listening to this would love to know is, okay, if we can already anticipate that there's going to be some changes, what's the best way to work some of those issues out with the customer?
Yeah, yeah, we try and be really good to work with on that. It's their custom house. On our specs, our project managers get pretty used to just moving along super seamlessly because there's no changes. But I have to remind them, like, hey guys, this is someone's house that they're going to move into. They're spending a lot of money on. If they want to change, we gotta make the change. But with that said too, like we it takes a lot of time to make a change. It's going to set back our schedule. It's going to take our project manager a lot of time to go through and maybe do some rework, or maybe if drywall is already done, we got to cut down drywall and reframe something, or is it an easy fix that we can just go in and make before we've drywalled or insulated? So we do have that's one thing we've been working on is a change order process, and you know the latest revision that we have, and it's a work in progress, but like we give them a couple of changes, on the house, and we still charge our build fee, or we have a percentage that we charge. Most of our custom homes are cost plus contracts, but after the third change, like if they're making a change to where they're going to save money, like they're eliminating something, we don't consider that a change. But if they're asking us to reframe a wall or to add something, it's going to require us to go get bids and maybe send something back that's already been ordered. Then we have a change order fee for that. We'd have them sign it. and have a fee that they have to get paid. We go all through that before they sign the contract and say, this is your home. Here's what the change order process looks like for us. We're going to try and plan everything before we start the house. And if there's any changes, the first couple of changes are on the house, third change, here's the fee, and here's what that looks like. And it's going to set back the process. Like that's always like you guys really want to make this change because it's going to take us 2 weeks to push everyone
Yeah.
back, and then might take however long it's going to take to order that countertop or change those cabinets or whatever. It could take multiple weeks. As long as you guys are okay with that delay, then let's move forward with it.
And it really adds up. A week here, a week there, a couple weeks here. I mean, it can really delay it months and months. So it's not always just the money; it's the timing side of it too.
Yeah, and if they've got a construction loan, you know, 1 month delay could mean $10 or $15,000 in interest with the types of homes
Yeah,
that we're building. So it's like it's not just a
yeah.
change order fee. It's like, are you guys okay with this project taking another 2 months because of this change?
I think that's what's you become a little bit more of a guide to say, hey, of course we're here to do whatever you want, but let's think tank this a little bit just so that like everything that's going into it, and it's not just emotional decision of like, okay, let's just quickly change this. It's like, now let's I'm always going to be the guy that grounds you, and
Perfect
reminds
example.
you.
So we just finished a home and beautiful home, and they've got a couple of drinking fountains in the wall. And one of the drinking fountains is right next to their gym. And we put it right where the plan showed to put it. And now the home's finished. It's got shiplap all around the drinking fountain. It's got, a molding going around the top of it. And they're like, hey, we don't like how close the drinking fountain is to the other wall in the corner. Can we just move it over closer to the door so it's centered on the door? I said, hey guys, we can totally do that. But just realize we're gonna have to have it demoed. We're gonna have to have the plumber come out and redo all the plumbing lines. Then we're gonna have to have the finish work guy come out and redo the finish work, and then we're gonna have the painter come out and redo the paint. Just to move a drinking fountain is gonna take like 5 different trades to come out, and it's gonna take multiple weeks and a lot of coordination. And it's like, oh yeah, let's not worry about it. So,
Looks great.
yeah,
On second
yeah,
thought, it's in the perfect position.
yeah. Usually when you explain like, hey guys, we can do it, but it's probably gonna take several weeks, and the house is going to be dusty, and it's going to be guys coming and going and 5 different crews. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, I would have to move in.
Are you on your spec homes? Are you building the same house, or are you doing a new house for every spec?
Yeah, we've never built the same house.
Wow.
It's a different custom plan every time. So most of the lots that we're getting they're all different sizes. All the specs that we've built on have been very different lots. So yeah, we have someone draw up the plans. They've all been different.
They've been beautiful too. I was looking at your Instagram, and I mean, I don't know if it's the most recent one that you guys, but I mean, it's just incredible,
Thank you. Yeah,
incredible.
it's been a lot of fun. For me, like I could probably make a lot more money if I was doing production homes and building the same plan over and over. We're getting really efficient with it, but I like the challenge of something different. It's just I think it's a lot more fun for our team too to be on something different every day.
It sounds like you've got a good team if they enjoy that, because I don't think a lot of people could say that honestly. They may say it anyways.
Yeah, our team is awesome. We've got a lot of great people, and that's been the funnest part for me is just. And that's one thing I never planned on. I never planned on having any employees, but just amazing people have continued to come to us. And that's been the most fulfilling part for me is just like seeing them grow and develop and grow into their roles.
How are people finding you now? Do they want to work for you? Are they just seeing the homes, or is there kind of you building a reputation organically of just you're doing things
Yeah,
a little different?
great question. Most of the people on our team have been referred to us just, word of mouth, people that know me, people that I've worked with in the past that have seen what we're doing. I think a lot of our customers, yeah, that's all of our customers too, is it's all been word of mouth and just referral based, which is huge in construction, like especially when we're doing these types of homes, these custom projects. I think every single one of them has been a referral from a previous build.
Yeah. We'll kind of jump into the referrals because that's kind of the foundation for custom home builders, production builders, luxury builder. I mean, it doesn't matter, but it's so much of that is reputation. And you guys obviously have a huge Instagram. You're putting a lot of effort into your Instagram, and I would love to know, what kind of, referrals can be organic. They can be like, I'm someone who had an experience and now I'm telling someone else. But now with social media, it can also be, I just know of these guys and I'm referring these people, even though I've never even talked, I've maybe never worked with them, never talked to them. There was a home builder I was talking to yesterday and they were saying, they're getting referrals by real estate agents that they've never even worked with. And, they're making these Instagram reels that, in the moment they may seem a little cheesy or a little corny or something like that, but they really work and they're really getting out there. And I tell you, the reel that I saw was you guys, you and your I don't know if he's who he is on your team, but you guys are rolling on the ground. I mean, it's funny, but I think I went through earlier before this call. It's your top performing reel. You've got like, I mean, it's just insane, and
It
that's
is
the
not
reel
even
that popped
close.
up. What are you finding just on the awareness and reputation side by doing so much on Instagram?
Yeah, it's a great question. And it's a little bit of both to answer the question. Like that reel that you're talking about, yeah, it's our top performing reel by far. It's not even close. Like I'm saying, like I think right now it's over 220,000 views. And just to put in perspective, like all of our other reels that we pay a lot of money for, like that nice parade home, we had a lot of professional videos done on that. Each professional video costs around $1,000 to have, a good videographer come in and do that and edit it, put music to it. Us rolling around on the floor, it took us 10 minutes. And our designer put some music to it and popped it up within a couple of hours. And the one that cost us $1,000 to make gets 1,000 views. And the one where we're rolling around being a little silly, like entertaining people, it was like I think maybe 6 or 7 seconds long, and it's gotten over not only over 200,000 views, but people just keep sharing it and commenting on it. And it's so it was definitely like we did not anticipate that, but it's funny that you found me through that.
Yeah,
And I think social media is where it's at for marketing nowadays. Like websites are great. You got to have a good website, but people are on Instagram and TikTok and they need to get to know you there. Like I said, most of our customers are referrals, and I don't think we've really gotten a build yet that's from directly from social media. But it is nice when I can show up to meet a customer and they already feel like they know me because
yeah.
they've seen my videos and they've seen me describing the build process. And that helps in the process when they already feel like they know what we're about.
Yeah. See, I get this question a lot is like, "Hey, what should I be doing? What's like that one thing I should be doing?" And it's the answer is, well, you need to be doing a whole lot. And there's reasons for all of that. You can't only have a Facebook and Instagram page and that's all you have and you have no website because like a lot of that stuff is attention, but like you have to put that attention towards something. And then God forbid, but you get a ban on Instagram or some social media account. TikTok gets deleted off the face of the earth and is like, what, you just lose all of that. Sometimes it's years and years and years. I was commercial video production for the past 10 years. And then we started this agency 5 years ago, right around COVID. And it was just around that shift. COVID really accelerated it. But just what you were saying is, you would pour thousands and thousands of dollars into, this 15-second, 30-second video. You would have lighting guys and audio people and account planners and an agency and a video production company and hair and makeup. And then you get into the post production, you have editor and color correcting and then sound design and music and just all of this stuff to put, a really short video together, sometimes a long video. But then you would hand that off to your media buyer to say, okay, now we're going to, run this as a Facebook ad, Instagram ad, something like that. And what you would see is that someone that would shoot something with their phone that was actually engaging, that was really authentic, side to side, like it didn't compare, it blow it out of the water every single time. And it's as we were, a part of some of these different productions, I started to see a little bit of the light is that
this is not where it's going. It's not working because Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and Google, they don't want this. What they want ultimately is for people to engage with their platform. So they're going to do whatever makes someone spend the most time on that platform.
Yeah.
So you spend all of that effort. Well, sorry, but you're just wasting all that money. It is appropriate sometimes. I think that, kind of the legacy side of who estate construction, what do their homes look like? Well, I'd rather not see, a bunch of handheld walkthrough videos on an iPhone. If I'm in the market for a home like that, I'd rather see these people are top of the line. There's kind of that branding that makes sense for that.
Like you said, I think you got to do both, especially in the type of business that we're in. We're marketing to people that can afford a custom home. These are expensive homes. They are high end. So you got to have some professional videos done that shows our work. But I think it helps to show the real side of it too, that we're real people. We have a sense of humor. The build process can be fun. It doesn't have to just be all strictly business. This is a very intimate process, building a custom home that could take 1 to 2 years. You have to do it with someone that you're going to be able to live with and be okay with communicating with every day for the next year or so. So
It's also helpful too because you don't want to build with, you're not going to be a perfect match with everybody. So it also kind of helps qualify these people and say, hey, if you are looking for someone that's 80 years old and, maybe that's not us, and we're putting enough out there so we're not wasting each other's time. You can go ahead and kind of pre-qualify yourself. And then if we look like we're a good fit and, then we can go from there. They have enough to digest before they're even picking up the phone or sending you guys an email or a DM or something like that.
so
You'll
true.
see though, you'll see these referrals coming through Instagram though. I've already heard it from other people, but you'll start seeing it.
Uh, We've had people in Georgia. Hey, do you build in Georgia? Hey, do you build in Phoenix, Arizona? It's like, oh, yeah, we probably can't do that, but yeah, I'm sure that we'll start getting some referrals and
Yeah,
stuff from family that might be here in Utah or something.
you're kind of a new company, a little bit on the younger side. But what are you currently doing, and what are you seeing that's working aside from Instagram?
Yeah, so we just had our website redone probably 6 months ago. I wanted to have that done, before the Parade of Homes, which was last summer. I think that's really big to have a professional looking website with our team bios on there so they can kind of get to know us through that. Another thing that we've done is Google is big time. I mean, people look for Google reviews. And so, I haven't been very good at this lately, but I was, asking for Google, 5-star reviews from customers, to build that up and get our rating on Google. On our website too, we have just recently done, I guess you call it like a lead funnel, to where
Hmm.
if you go to our main website page, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can click and get my recommendations for like what you should look for in a custom builder. Because we know that like people that are finding us on Instagram or whatnot, we're not gonna be able to build for someone in Georgia or Arizona. Like we're just not set up to do that. We're a boutique custom builder here in Utah Valley, but they can go to our website and they can download the 5 main things they should look at when they're looking to build a custom home and trying to vet out a custom builder in their area. And so they have to put in their email address there. And hopefully people in Utah are putting in their addresses. And then we're going to start just kind of a monthly email newsletter, that might
Yeah,
just, and then some topics may not even be about home building, might be, you know, the 5 best restaurants in Salt Lake City, or just something that we can provide
yeah,
value and get a good email list. So when they are ready to build a custom home, we're gonna think of us.
yeah. They call it lead nurturing. Which
There you go.
is I don't. A lot of people, they're not going to click. They're not going to click and open the emails, but that's not really the point. The point is that over the course of a year, I'm going to see this name as much as possible. I'm going to see it in my email. I'm going to see it on my social media, and I'm always going to be hearing from these people. They're going to be, like you said, it doesn't always have to be building related, but you're always going to be a touch point so that when it's top of mind awareness, so that if they are in the market for something eventually, or they know of someone, they're going to be like, hey, I don't know, but like I've been hearing about, Jeff and his team. They've been doing a ton of stuff. Maybe check them out. That's going to become so natural, and people aren't even going to really they're not going to be able to articulate why, over time. Sometimes people have in the forum to say, hey, how did you hear about us? A lot of times they're not even going to know, but it's, they're going to have so much time and all of this, these little things that's just like, I don't know why. I've been just thinking of Jeff. I'm thinking about Jeff all day long. If I'm thinking custom home builder or I'm thinking home builder, I'm thinking of Jeff. Why is that? And it's you're doing, really smart things, and it's no accident, and if you stay consistent at that, it really builds a ton of momentum. It's like a snowball, it just builds
It is.
momentum over time.
And I would say 90% of our marketing is social media. We're trying this stuff on the website and then Google, like I talked about. But like going back to your point, I've been posting stuff on social media for 5 years about building homes. And it's all about, like you said, being consistent. And I'm sure there's plenty of people that have unfollowed me because they're probably sick of seeing the homes that I'm building. And that's fine. But like most of the people, it's top of mind. They know if anyone in their family is looking for a custom build, I know our name is going to get brought up and we're going to at least have a crack at it just because they know what I do. All my friends and family, my cousins, my previous neighbors, everyone I'm friends with on my personal social media, they see those posts and they know it's top of mind. They know what I'm doing for work now.
Yeah, and that personal page will get a lot more traction than a business page.
Yeah.
Are you running any ads? Facebook ads, Google ads, anything like that?
We currently are not. No, I just set up a call with our website developer that's gonna maybe talk about doing some SEO work but we have not done any Facebook or Instagram ads.
What are you guys looking to do for next year? Is there one? I mean, you mentioned already some SEO, possibly some ads, but anything that you've kind of earmarked for what you're wanting to do next year?
Yeah, so a big thing that is going to happen next year is we're separating out our excavation business. So we have currently been, doing all of our excavation in-house, and so that's all under estate construction, and mainly for liability reasons and for bookkeeping. And now I'm going to separate out the two companies, and that's going to happen the first of January. We're going to start off a new QuickBooks account, separate out the equipment and the employees that are on the excavation side to be a completely separate entity. So that's probably the biggest thing we have coming up. We have a lot of great spec homes that we're in the middle of that'll all sell in 2026. Two customs right now that are starting in at the first of 2026, and possibly one more before the year's over. So another good year on the home building side too.
Now you said paving shuts down. You said about halfway through. Building doesn't shut down.
Building does not. No, I mean you can usually pour concrete all throughout the whole winter. You just have to add some hot water to it and calcium maybe, and then just cover it with blankets so it doesn't freeze. But you can pour concrete. The winter definitely slows it down. There's definitely winter conditions. It's more expensive to build through the winter just because it takes longer. And then you do have to cover concrete with blankets. There's a cost for that. Framers aren't going to work as fast if they're shoveling snow off the main floor and second floor to keep framing. A lot of times they won't show up. It's a snow day. They're no showing. A little slower,
Yeah.
but you can definitely plug through all through the winter.
Is there anything that you do that people don't see that you'd want to highlight and let people know, hey, even though you're not seeing this after the house is done, here's some things that we're doing.
All the time. I mean, people see the videos of the nice homes and they think it's, all the sexiest thing to drive around and be a GC, but there's just there's problem solving every day. I mean, we had that new house that we just finished up, and their main sewer line, like 2 days after they moved in, backed up, with the clog almost at the street, which was a part of the sewer line that we didn't even touch. So it was their existing sewer line that we tied into. It had some tree roots growing into it. And so the water got clogged and backed up into, flooded a couple rooms in their basement. Had to go through a tear out drywall and probably do about $25,000 worth of work in this brand new home. I mean, just finished 2 days ago. And so stuff like that happens. It's well, I always say David Windsor, if you don't follow him, you got to look him up. He does a great job. He's got a podcast and he's a builder here in Park City. He always says construction is undefeated. And no matter how well you plan, no matter how good a job you do, there's always going to be issues. Basement's going to flood, or, you know, a guy is going to put a nail in one of the plumbing lines in the back of the cabinets and you're going to have a small leak back, whatever it is. Like, there's always going to be something you gotta go back and fix and warranty. So sometimes it can be really not the sexiest in the world when you gotta go back and tear out drywall and pull out wood insulation. Then you're getting drywall splatter all over the nice finished closet, windows. There's stuff like that happens quite often.
What kind of warranty do you have?
So we do a standard year warranty, which is pretty standard here for construction. So that's on the entire house, a 1 year warranty on structural and cosmetic items.
And then what advice would you give someone doing the exact same thing as you? Maybe not in the same state, but what advice would you give them? What things have you learned along the way so far?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing is just getting started. I mean, I continued on in my day job for about 3 years, trying to do both, and I think that was good for me to get my feet underneath me before I was ready. But when I look back, I kind of wished I would have made the jump sooner. And just getting started, I think, is the hardest thing. So if you know you can do it and you got the itch to do it, I'd say go for it. And then to add to that, you know, don't be afraid to spend money if it's going to make you more efficient and really save you in the long run. Like, whether that's implementing systems and paying for a software that's it's going to structure your business and help you. You may not want to pay that few $1,000s for that software, but if it's going to save you 10 hours a week, like, how much is that really worth? So don't be afraid to spend money on systems and software programs that can help your sanity. Really, you can't keep track of all this in your head. You gotta have some systems to help you out.
Are you using a project management software?
We are, yeah. We like using JobTread. Is kind of a new and upcoming one. We've been with them for about 2 years now, and we're still getting better at using it every day. We use it for all of our budgeting, our scheduling. Our project managers use it for their daily logs, kind of, a job site progress and pictures, and so it's been really really helpful that way.
You already mentioned that one builder there in Park City, but are there other people you admire in the building world?
For sure,
People
yeah.
that you
Like I said,
follow?
there's a lot of great builders here in Utah. One that I have really followed closely in Arizona is Brad Levitt. You probably know him. He's pretty big time. I love what he's done. I'm a big fan. He has no idea who I am, but I listen to his podcast quite often. He always has a lot of really good guests on his podcast and talks through a lot of really great points of construction and custom home building. So I would consider him a mentor, even though I've never talked to him in person before, but I love what he's doing.
And what about there locally? You didn't think there's anyone else? We're talking to subs, we're talking to designers, architects. Is there anyone else that you think would be a good fit to be on this podcast? Just to kind of get a different perspective. It doesn't always have to be on the custom home building side, but sometimes there's a lot of good insight that comes from the subcontractors. Because a lot of times, they're holding on to a lot of knowledge that doesn't get released just because they're not really given a platform to share it all the time.
Yeah. Just thinking about other custom builders, like I said, there's a lot of great ones. I mean, Raycon Construction is one I look up to. Robison Custom Builders, RC Dent Construction is another great one here in Utah. And then there's a lot of others I'm not mentioning. Yeah.
Kind of jumping back to the advice that you would give someone starting out, what are subcontractors you think the most key relationship you could build starting out?
Yeah, I mean, when I was on my own, just a one man show, like, I still use a lot of the same subs that I was using back then. And this was back during COVID, and I couldn't get called back on footings and foundation. Like, forget about it. Those guys had too much work. they weren't calling back a one-man show. And so it was all about finding a relationship, someone that would respond to me and get with me. And I still use those same guys today. But these are guys that I've been to battle with. I've got the relationship with. I've been giving them hats for years, t-shirts, sweatshirts, lunch, rock stars, energy, all kinds of energy drinks. Like it's those little things that build the relationship, and that's everything for a contractor, a general contractor, is to have subs that are going to show up.
Yeah,
And we even talked to other builders and they're like, we can't get our subs to show up. And the good builders are the ones that have the relationships. And when something goes wrong, they can call that sub and they're going to show up and come back and get it done.
absolutely. I've also heard this multiple times, and it's exactly what you said. It's the small things. It's not having some real complicated, uh, referral, or, some people just like try to think it way too big. It's like, no, we're talking about bring them a box of pizza, bring them some, just let them know that you're thinking about them. But, a really small thing can go a long ways, and to know that, you always have their back. It's just like, hey, it's,
100%.
we're always on the same team trying to, if it's an issue, we're both trying to solve this together. It's not you against me. It's us against the problem.
Yeah, and I try and teach our project managers, because I can't be on site every day now to every single job, but like all the project manager texts me and be like, hey Jeff, I asked our framer to change up these windows and I had to make a couple changes here. Are you okay if I buy him lunch? 100%. Please order him lunch. Tell him thank you. And we're not asking him to do anything that we're not going to pay extra for or whatnot, but like just getting lunch goes a long way for him. And then the other thing that I tell a lot of our customers too is like, some people are like, hey, we need to get 3 or 4 bids on every single trade. And I'll just tell them, like, guys, we'll get a couple of bids on some things, but this is our framer and we're using him. And I already know that he's going to be competitively priced, but it's not just about price with us. It's like, who's going to show up when we need it and who's going to get the job done in the time frame that we have allotted. Because yeah, if you want to go save $500 on framing labor, go ahead. But if it's someone we haven't worked with before and we don't know the processes and they're going to take twice as long as what we're used to, that's really going to cost you another $10,000 of construction loan interest. And just letting us use our guys that we know are going to show up for us. Not only that, but get the job done right. It's worth a lot.
Yeah, man, that's so good. Is there anything you do for, this would be more for your custom builds, but is there anything that you do to kind of commemorate the start of the build? Some people I know, they'll write scriptures on the studs. They'll do a groundbreaking. Is there anything like that just to kind of commemorate the start of a build with your customer?
You know what? We need to be better about that. This last custom that we did, we invited the family out to the groundbreaking. And with us perform the excavation, we let the husband hop in the excavator. He took the first scoop out.
Nice.
He was bouncing around, pulling it back and bouncing around pretty hard. It was really funny. We were getting a kick out of it, but I think we could do better at that. I see a lot of high-end builders that'll break out the gold shovels and have them each go take a dig out, which I think is cool. I think we probably get a better process going for that.
Maybe something you can start doing in 2026.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. We should bring that up in our next meeting and definitely do something that's going to be memorable for them.
Well, man, as we wrap up here, how can people learn more about you, follow along with what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, our website is estateconstruction.com, and it's ESTAIT. I spelled it like my last name, TAIT. You can also find us on Instagram. This is the main part where we're putting out all of our content. That's Estate Construction on Instagram. Yeah, we're putting out a lot of stories there, and they can see our most recent build updates and progress there on Instagram.
Good deal, man. Well, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to follow along too. Post any more reels of you rolling on the floor. I know my wife's gonna send them to me.
Yeah, those would be few and far between, but we'll keep going, man. Jesse, thanks for coming around. Appreciate you taking the time to get to know us.
All right, that's a wrap for this conversation. If you know someone who should be on this podcast, send us an email at info@meridianpursuit.com and nominate them. We're always looking for great stories to share. And if you got something out of this episode, please leave us a quick review on the show. And if you're watching on YouTube, tap like and subscribe so we can share this with more people. I'm Jesse Sampley. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the next one.